What legacy do you want to leave behind at the end of your career?
The legacy I think that I want to leave behind is just understanding that, the path that we have isn't set in stone from the beginning. For me, I was born with no legs, one of five to my mother, and I'm the only one in my immediate family to have a disability. And it's not like the script is already written for us. We didn't grow up in the best neighborhoods. But like you are the creator of your life. You're the creator of what happens. You can dictate. I mean, of course, there are opportunities and things that are needed, but you need to understand that when that opportunity does present itself, that you have to be physically, mentally, spiritually, emotionally ready to capture and take over that opportunity and kill it at the end of the day.
I love that. Earlier on, you talked about the importance of being present. What kind of work do you need to put in to make sure that you're present and to make sure that you're mentally and physically capable to take advantage of those opportunities when they come?
Oh, definitely. It's a constant practice. I mean, the awesome thing about mental training is that it's like physical training, right? Like you have to do it a lot of times. So like a lot of motivation or I'm sorry, meditation
Mm-hmm.
is huge, right? But also being able to catch yourself in those times and be able to reset back and be grateful for what you have. Like for me, my kids, my family, excuse me, is huge for me. So
Mm-hmm.
whenever, excuse me, sorry, whenever I get into those moments, I'm like, like the reason I do what I do is my family. Everything's family driven. Like what my daughters say right now, and it's easy, quick back, right? Because I'm over here contemplating the stresses of the game and this, that, and the fifth. And my daughter would be like, hey, this Hello Kitty or this My
Mm-hmm.
Little Pony, what about that? And it's like, it allows you to say like things are so much, it's not as big as we make them out. They're so much smaller than what we make them out to be.
Yeah, for sure. Switching gears, I want to talk about the Paralympic movement.
Yeah.
What exactly makes the Paralympic movement so powerful?
Um, to see the growth, I got my start in 2009, and then my first Paralympic Games in 2012.
Hmm.
So to be able to see where we were in 2012, to see where we are going to be in 2024 is captivating. When people wanted to watch our shows, they were like, "How do I get and watch a show in 2012?" It's like you got to go to the internet, search this link in order to get there. Now we're being broadcast on TV to this day, live time. So when people are like, "Hey, how can I catch your game?" It's on TV. That like you, unfortunately, in Tokyo, they had to wake up really early to watch it. But I mean, that's become the norm, and it's awesome to see because now people are able to tune in just like they are the Olympics.
I love that. You talk about the growth. Do you think that Paralympic athletes are represented well? Do you think the Paralympics is inclusive enough?
Oh, I think that like it's a ever growing thing, right? Like it's not something that I think is going to be, oh, we've accomplished it, now we're good, because I think that happens all too often, right? We set a marker or goal to meet, and once we meet that goal, it's like okay, we're done. No,
Yeah.
well, once we meet this goal, now it's time to readjust, right? So like the awesome thing is that they the coverage, like I said, has picked up, like sponsorships for it for athletes have picked up, like the ability to get out and get our message out there.
Yeah.
So now people are not only seeing, the individual with a disability, they're seeing the Paralympic athlete, but now they're seeing like the backstory, right? We're not only just, a person with a disability, we're not only a Paralympian, we're a father, full-time
Mm.
employee. Like those are the things. So it's so much more to people than what we see right then and there.
Obviously, you're so much more than your disability, but do you feel like people with disabilities are represented well? I know you kind of just touched on it a little bit,
Yeah.
but do you personally feel seen and heard? And if not, what do you think needs to be done?
So I think that like this is a society thing, right? Like
Hmm.
like in the United States, we have the American with Disabilities Act, right? And it's something that allows um, the the access to community things that like we take for granted throughout the community. And that's in the U.S. It's not a thing for the entire world,
Hmm.
right? Here in the U.S., the disabled community population is the largest minority demographic,
Hmm.
the largest, but we also represent the largest unemployment rates
Yeah.
in the United States. So, like, when you start to look at these numbers, you start to understand that like the representation obviously is there because we're the largest demographic, but to also say that we make up the largest number of individuals that are unemployed
Mm-hmm.
kind of shows that we're not represented in the workforce.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes you think, what else aren't we represented as? So, excuse me, I think that's why we take these opportunities to showcase what we're able to do. It's not saying that this is cookie cutter, like you're going to get every person to be like this, but it shows that these, you know, beer goggles that we have on when it comes to individual disabilities, that it's time to take them off.